Milk is the only product that nature has honed specifically for consumption. Professor Alan Kelly, University College Cork. Hello again, my name is Lady Dunleath and I'm a food historian. 2021 is the centenary of Northern Ireland, and DAERA are marking the occasion with a series of short videos. We are looking at the progress of agriculture supported by the ministry over the last 100 years. In this edition, we're looking at milk and its central role in Northern Ireland. We know that milk is nutritionally the perfect food. Mammals across the world keep their newly borns alive with milk. Human babies do best on the breast. In parts of the world, milk is the only food there is. The nutrition in milk is remarkable, especially that of the grass-fed cow, because it is amply produced in Northern Ireland. It's high in vitamins, A, D, a couple of the B's, and K. There's also vitamin C. Milk also contains animal protein, which is particularly important for the absorption of nutrients in the gut. And obviously, it contains milk sugar, known as lactose. Many of us will remember the third of a pint of milk given to school children from the 1940s. It gave us a mid-morning boost. The dairy products we enjoy today have a long history. Prehistoric man was lactose intolerant. Without refrigeration, he will almost certainly have consumed the milk sour, which made it suitable for him again, as lactose turns to lactic acid when milk spoils. In today's market, a plethora of sour milk products have sprung out of this naturally fermented or clabbered milk tradition. It was prominent in the Ulster cuisine, but also across Northern Europe. The way we make sour milk products today is by adding a culture to fresh milk, so we have a better control over the flavors. Thousands of years ago, man learned to make cheese. Again, a process involving the conversion of lactose into lactic acid. There's one cheese historian called Ned Palmer who thinks that we stopped being nomads because we like cheese and beer, and both are difficult to travel with. Looking back to 1921, milk was still the saviour of many among the rural and urban poor. This was understood at the Ministry of Agriculture, who had recently taken over the Ulster Dairy School. The Ulster Dairy School at Loughrea, outside Cookstown, was opened in 1908, and following the formation of Northern Ireland was transferred in 1922 to Northern Ireland's Ministry of Agriculture. It has become what we know today as Caffrey, Loughrea campus.
The churning room was always great fun. Sometimes there would be somebody forget to put the lid on properly. That was a mess. And then there was others who churned and churned until they had one big lump in the bottom, one big lump in the bottom of the churn. And then it was so soft they couldn't work it. We had a whale of a time.
In those early days, the Ulster Dairy School catered only for female students and provided two main courses. Part of the one-year course covered dairy and rural housewifery. It had a dual aim of training farmers' wives of the future, and it enabled students to work on farms or in the dairy industry. This progressive approach coincided with momentum for women's causes, which gathered pace in the 1920s. Women got the vote, were allowed to stand for Parliament. By 1922, women could inherit property. The removal of the Sex Disqualification Act meant they could both serve as jurors and magistrates. Women, however, had to give up their jobs when they married, and real equality was only a dream they could hope would be fulfilled by their children and grandchildren. Did you know that dairy produce was called white meat in the past? Travel writers during the 18th century would comment on the poverty of the dwellings of the poor, but also remark on how healthy the people looked on a diet of white meat and potatoes. One of the reasons we know so much about the use of dairy produce by the people of Ulster is because many of those who immigrated to America were dairy farmers. Lots of them kept diaries, but many more wrote letters home about the plenty of the back country where they settled and how they could survive on the knowledge of what they had traditionally done with milk. The clabbered milk process I referred to earlier is still an important part of US Southern cuisine. The plenty the immigrants experienced was exceptional for a people who had not only known want, but also frequent famines. And Mrs. Dunlop, one of the Ulster settlers in the back country, is credited with the invention of making cheese from full milk because of this plenty. Traditionally, cheese was made from skimmed milk, which made a very hard cheese, inexpensive and easy to keep for a long time. It was mostly eaten by the poor, as the cream and butter, of course, could be sold, hence the expression hard cheese as in bad luck. All the vitamins and minerals, except for vitamin C, remain during the cheese-making process. This means that a baked potato, high in vitamin C and fiber, with cheese and a little added butter, is a very healthy meal indeed. There will be wonderful opportunities, as yet unknown, in the future that aligns with DERA's vision of sustainability at the heart of a living, working, active landscape, valued by everyone. The best we as consumers can do is support our local growers by eating as much as possible that is produced on our doorstep. I'll see you soon.